Hi, I'm Kevin Costner. It's an honor to join you tonight to celebrate 25 years of ShelterBox, 25 years of bringing light, comfort, and hope to families who've lost everything. Around the world, millions of people have been forced from their homes because of disaster, conflict, and the growing impacts of our changing climate. ShelterBox is tackling one of the biggest humanitarian challenges of our time, helping families rebuild their lives one shelter at a time. I recently recorded a song with my band called Find Your Way. It's about holding on to faith even in your darkest moments, trusting that there will be shelter when you get there, and that somehow you'll find your way. Tonight, as you listen, I hope you'll join me in supporting ShelterBox. Together, we can make sure more families have safety, dignity, and the shelter they need to start again. May you always find your way.
"25 years ago, ShelterBox was born with a simple, powerful mission: to provide emergency shelter to families devastated by disaster or conflict. What began with one green box in the aftermath of a devastating earthquake became a global movement to provide emergency shelter to families who lost everything. Because shelter is more than a roof. It's a secure, private space for a family, crucial to preserving dignity during a crisis. Shelter is the foundation for life. From our first response in India, to the tsunami in Southeast Asia, Hurricane Katrina in the United States, and the earthquake in Haiti, ShelterBox has stood beside families in their darkest hours. As wars force tens of millions from their homes, we've delivered shelter from Syria to Cameroon, from Ukraine to Gaza. We've adapted to every challenge to meet the unique and changing needs of the displacement crisis. ShelterBox responds with more than tents, innovating shelter solutions for each context and environment, training and reinforcing local teams, and establishing new hubs for pre-positioned aid so that we continue to respond quickly and meaningfully around the world. And today, in 2025, we mark a new milestone: 3 million people sheltered in more than 100 countries. To our donors, volunteers, and supporters, you are at the heart of every ShelterBox response. Because of you, families rebuild. And because of you, hope endures.
Good evening and welcome to an evening to experience ShelterBox. I'm Carrie Murray, president of ShelterBox USA, and I am so thrilled to welcome Academy Award-winning actor, director, and musician Kevin Costner to the 25th anniversary for ShelterBox. Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you who are here to celebrate 25 years of ShelterBox. Tonight, Kevin, do you know that we have watch parties all across America?
I'm not surprised anything you do, Carrie, honestly. But it's around America? Or?
We do. So from Western Pennsylvania, the Sturrocks have gathered about 50 people from the Rotary Club, the Summerlin Rotary, and even high school students up in Marin County, California, who have founded the first high school ambassador program. Wow. It is incredible. Thank you so much for being here. Tonight, we reflect on 25 years. What started as a single green box and a drive to make a difference has helped millions of people across the world in over 100 countries, all because of you. Tonight, we're going to take people, Kevin, to the front lines of some of the world's worst disaster and conflict situations. That includes Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, where ShelterBox has a team and aid on the ground. It is the single largest tropical cyclone in the world this year that made landfall there. We'll also take you to the front lines of Chad, where we're helping thousands of Sudanese refugees find safety and shelter. And we're going to also take you here at home in California down to LA, where ShelterBox has responded to the fires in Altadena earlier this year. This is our 1 hour of inspiration, and we hope that you will be moved to action, and that we hope that if you're so inspired, you will donate during the telecast tonight. So Kevin, I am so excited because before you arrived tonight, you know we received a match donation, and I am so thrilled you're going to share with everyone what that number is.
Yeah, it's a really good head start. Somebody really thought above and beyond and are going to match the first $80,000. So.
It's amazing, $80,000.
I like your little clap. It's a
lot. That's a massive
bunch.
amount. For an organization like ShelterBox, $80,000 can help a community that's been displaced. And so we want to say a big thank you to the board of directors for ShelterBox USA, to Pam Pine and Rick Abernathy for stepping up and digging deep to help us with that match tonight. So if you are inspired during this telecast, please scroll down. There is a donate button where you can make a donation, or you can chat with us live and you can make a pledge in the chat box tonight. So we hope that you'll be inspired, and we would love to share with you the work of ShelterBox. Now, Kevin, I know that this organization has come to mean a lot for you, particularly living here in an area that is endemic to disasters, right? We're no strangers. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about what this means to you. And I know you have a song you're going to share tonight with your band, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, well, you do realize that sometimes you live in, we're standing and we're looking at mountains here in Santa Barbara, California. It's often thought of as the Mediterranean. So it's a beautiful community, and sometimes we're numbed by the feeling that it can't touch us. And it did. These mountains that are so beautiful experienced a tremendous amount of rain after a tremendous amount of fire. Mm-hmm. So much so that there was, I think, 21 lives were lost. And these big boulders, literally, at the top of these mountains rolled right down to us, and they rolled right out into the sea. And this community, being of the nature that it was a bit of a safety net, really. The people, a lot of times, there was a lot of family around here. People have the money to kind of step in, but that's not always the case around the world. We're not immune from the loss, the heartbreak, the being kind of disengaged from our homes, but it was temporary. But for the people that we've been talking about, it's ongoing. And what was unique to me was ShelterBox doesn't just come, they stay. And that was very unique for an organization like a little engine that could. And it is humble, but it's big thinking. And the people have the big hearts, the big pockets. If you can, there is work being done with your money, and it is right on the ground, and they don't leave. And that impressed me, and it was my first time to actually see Carrie in action. And I think it was probably about 7 months later, we decided that we would get together, have coffee, and talk about it. And I didn't know what I could do at that point, just like maybe you don't think that you know what you can do right now. But I knew I wanted to do something. And I was realizing that Carrie, this organization, needed a big boost. They were already doing the heavy lifting, but there was a moment, how could we keep them doing the thing that they do best rather than this thing where they're always out having to try and raise money? And so tonight we try to lighten that load for them, and I hope you can do that. But I was thinking for her, and I said, look, I don't know what I can do, but when I do, I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to tell you what that is. And so that actually happened. I'm sure Carrie thought, yeah, sure, thanks, buddy. And out she went, nice cup of coffee. but we had that moment. Something came to me. She's been working on that idea, but the idea of ShelterBox has not left me, and we have written a song, my band, Modern West, and it does speak of hope. It does speak of the reality of feeling completely lost, though, and sometimes thinking it doesn't exist. And for whatever reason, I think Carrie was as moved by the song as I have been by her organization. And believe it or not, there's people behind this camera, and that's what makes this organization work, is who's behind the camera. We have such an impressive woman, but the people that choose to align themselves with her, you know, really impressive. You call them angels. You call them what you want, but they're people that use their time for others that they'll never meet.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks all of you for being here. And I'm a big believer that we all have something to contribute, whether it's your time, whether it's your talent, whether it's your resources to get involved to make the world a better place. So Kevin, I am so grateful for you being here tonight, and I am so thrilled to share with you later on in the show Kevin's very special song, Find Your Way, which he and his band have recorded. And I feel like it is an anthem to the people that we serve all across the world. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you being here.
All right.
And we'll see you a little later tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Wow, it is such a privilege to have Kevin Costner and all of you from across the world here with us tonight as we celebrate 25 years of ShelterBox. I want to step back now and talk about the humanitarian mission of this organization for the past 25 years. ShelterBox has been focused on one of the biggest issues that's facing our planet, and that's global displacement. The UN estimates that there are more people displaced in our world, over 123 million people, more now than in any time in recorded history. That's 1 in 67 people on the planet, and that number is supposed to grow to over 200 million in the next decade alone. So displacement is caused by a variety of factors, from disasters like typhoons and cyclones and earthquakes, to conflict, and that is forcing tens of millions of people from their home each year, to the impact of a changing climate. Here you see Western North Carolina last year after that once-in-a-thousand-year storm, Hurricane Helene, and the LA wildfires this year, truly historic in California's history. For 25 years, ShelterBox has had one singular mission: the provision of emergency shelter and essential aid items to enable people to recover after they've lost their home. 25 years ago, we started with one single green box based on the premise of what are the things you need to sustain your life if you lose everything in an instant. The center of gravity was a family emergency tent, a place to call home. The other essential aid items that we included inside the box, basic things like solar lanterns because you've lost power, water filters because you've had contamination of the water source, basic things like ground mats and blankets for sleeping, cook sets when aid organizations bring in food and water. How are you going to boil water, prepare a hot meal? Meals have a real sense of restoring routine and normalcy for a family. The other items we include are things like mosquito nets, really important where you have vector-borne disease, as well as essential tools to help with the rebuild process. For many years, one box served one family, and it was a one-size-fits-all solution. But many years ago, ShelterBox began innovating, and as we grew from just responding to disasters to the world's worst conflict situations as well, we started deploying things like shelter kits. These are tarpaulins and tools that can effectively and efficiently either repair a home that's been damaged or create a single room structure for a family. Also, in areas that are endemic to disasters, places like Bangladesh, we're working on really building back better for these families who face continual displacement by things like typhoons and cyclones. And then also in long protracted crisis situations where you have continual displacement, we're looking at things like mud brick huts. This is an example in Somalia of a very low cost, high impact solution for this mom and her family where she can live in this semi-durable structure for 10 to 15 years. But whatever the shelter that we provide, the mission has remained a constant to enable the building blocks to recovery for families who've lost everything. Now I'd like to take you inside a few of the ShelterBox shelters. So that includes the standard relief tent that you see behind me, as well as one of the shelter kits. So let's step inside of one of the ShelterBox tents. This is actually the standard relief tent. I know this looks like a recreation tent. This is not. This is made for humanitarian purposes. And this is the place that a family will call home for weeks to months after losing their home in a disaster. So this is a fire-resistant, UV-protected double-wall tent. You can see that it's a spacious tent where an entire family will live. There are areas to create rooms, so privacy rooms within and spaces within the tent. There's areas for light and ventilation, so you have the front patio, you have a back door, you have area where light and air can come in. And then also you have some areas here that you can actually store your personal items as well. Now this is a place that a family will collect themselves. They'll have meals here, they'll sleep here. So we provide basic things like sleeping mats as well as high thermal blankets for the family. We also provide basic things like solar lanterns. These are a lifeline, particularly for women in disaster and conflict zones, provide safety and protection. You can also charge your phone with this as well. You blow this up much like a beach balloon, the light diffuses, and it's a chandelier that you can hang in the tent or you can take it out into the elements with you. Also providing things like the water filter to purify, also containers to store clean water. We have basic things like stainless steel cook sets we provide as well. One package will serve one family. And again, this is the place and the space that they will call home. Now, over the years, as I mentioned, we've really innovated to provide exactly what the families need. And it's often different, particularly between disasters and then conflict situations. So we also provide a very high impact, low cost solution. This is called a shelter kit. These are tarpaulins, tools, and fixins that will create a single room structure like you see here. We also provide the basic tools for the family as well to help them build this shelter. And then oftentimes we'll supplement the aid package, could be with cash to help with things like plywood for the framing, as well as things like CGI for some of the walls or the roof. But this is one example of a shelter kit. And over the years, ShelterBox has really been moving to meet the unique needs of the families we serve. Sometimes it is a full shelter kit. Other times it's the basics people need in the moment. It can also include hygiene supplies, cash voucher assistance as well. ShelterBox has been doing this for 25 years, and I'd love to share now more about how we do it. And really it is on the backbones of volunteers across the world that help this organization do its work. I want to turn our attention to some of the most highly trained people in emergency response. I know many of you are online tonight. You comprise what's known as the SRT, the ShelterBox Response Team. These are civilian volunteers. They're from all over the world, all walks of life. They apply to become response team members, and they go through about a year of remote and live training. About 1 in 30 people will make it through the program and become a first responder with the organization. We have several of these folks deployed around the world today, and I want to give a shout out to our folks in the Philippines right now responding to earthquake as well as typhoons, Brian Glenn, as well as Garn Christensen. He is down in Jamaica helping to lead our response there from Hurricane Melissa. Now, our response teams can deploy, and they can deploy at any wave of the response, from the initial assessment phase to really determining who's been affected, what do they need. They also coordinate locally with local partners like Rotary in country. They also work with other organizations on the ground. They also work through the supply chain and the logistical challenges of getting aid into the country if we don't have it there yet. They work on beneficiary selection, training the communities on how to build their shelters and use the aid items. And they also do something very important called monitoring, evaluation, and learning, which is really mapping, tracking, and measuring the impact that ShelterBox has across the world. Our response team members are truly a force multiplier to enabling our organization to be all across the world responding to disasters and conflicts. Now, where we work is really all across the world. I mentioned we have been working in over 100 countries over the past 25 years, and that's over 300 crisis situations. From our first response back in 2001, as a result of the Gujarat earthquake, that's in Pakistan, to the Indian Ocean tsunami, to Hurricane Katrina, our first response in the United States, to the Haiti earthquake in 2010, which killed 250,000 people. It was one of our largest disaster responses, to the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, to the work that we have been doing in conflict situations. And really, when you look at what's driving global displacement, violent conflict is at the heart of it. So everywhere from Syria, which continues to be the longest and largest piece of the work at ShelterBox, we're gearing up right now for our winterized aid packages, to the work that we did in Ukraine following the beginning of the war, to our work in Gaza, one of the most challenging places on the planet, to deliver humanitarian relief supplies. Our work is probably best known in disaster situations, but ShelterBox's work in the world's worst disaster zones and conflict zones is really life-saving. And our work in the most challenging environments in the world due to violent conflict is the reason why ShelterBox has been nominated 3 times, including in 2025, for the Nobel Peace Prize. In addition to the SRTs, the work of ShelterBox is powered by our partnership with Rotary International. ShelterBox has been working with Rotary since the beginning, and ShelterBox remains the official project partner of Rotary in disasters. Rotary is the oldest service organization in the world, and for all the Rotarians watching tonight and supporting ShelterBox, you are in the DNA of every response that we do. Tonight, we're going to take you to the front lines of some of the work of ShelterBox over the past year, the work that you've enabled. I want to start in Southern California, which experienced some of the worst fires in California's history. In January 2025, wildfires broke out in Los Angeles County, devastating the Pacific Palisades and Altadena. ShelterBox began partnering with Rotary District 5280 and 5300. Let's go now to see the work in Altadena. In January 2025, wildfires tore through Los Angeles County, forcing more than 200,000 people to evacuate. These catastrophic fires killed at least 29 people and destroyed more than 18,000 homes and structures. The Palisades and Eaton fires rank among the most destructive in California's history. Thousands of people remain without a home and the essentials needed to survive. In the wake of this unprecedented loss, entire communities now face the daunting challenge of rebuilding from the ashes.
I would never in a million years have expected to be a disaster victim, but now I am. And I really feel for people who are, have experienced that and who have lost everything. I now know what the worst day in one's life can actually be like. And I gotta say, it's hard to talk, straight about it, that the best thing about all of this is seeing people come together and helping each other.
Hello, I'm Carrie Murray, president of ShelterBox USA, and I'm here in Altadena, California, in LA County, where tens of thousands of people lost their homes here from the Eaton fire. Today, we are at the Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, the parking lot here, which is a staging facility where hundreds of families have lined up to come get emergency relief. Just the basics. So many people, thousands displaced by these fires, need the essentials.
Thanks to your generous support, our ShelterBox teams, in partnership with Rotary Districts 5280 and 5300, and with the help from Amazon Disaster, ShelterBox has mobilized to deliver life-saving emergency supplies. Every item is a vital step toward restoring hope. From hundreds of Luminade solar lights that can charge cell phones, to high thermal blankets and comforters, hand warmers, pillows, towels, to cook sets and dinnerware, ShelterBox is working to help support displaced families on their long road to recovery. In wildfire-ravaged Los Angeles, countless families are struggling to find safety and rebuild their lives. Your support makes it possible for us to deliver vital relief and hope in these darkest hours. ShelterBox USA remains committed to standing with our communities as they recover across wildfire-ravaged Los Angeles. As families cling to hope amid unimaginable loss, your support delivers a lifeline. Thank you for standing with us as we rebuild lives and restore hope.
Thank you so much for supporting this life-saving work. And I want to introduce everyone to a very special person here at ShelterBox, and that is Paul Verkaman. I met Paul several years ago. He was a correspondent for CNN, working in many of the disaster zones that we've been responding to. And a few years ago, Paul came here as the communications director, and Paul was instrumental in really leading the LA response efforts. I know you're an LA native, Paul, and you sprang into action. Can you share a little bit what that was like for you, working down in LA in your home city with what happened there?
Well, first off, it was very gratifying, and second off, I was super appreciative of something, and that is here, even at ShelterBox headquarters in Santa Barbara, we had a lot of the goods that people were asking us for directly. They said, we need the solar lights that can charge our phones. We can't call FEMA, we can't call our mom, we can't call our insurance agent. They also liked our ShelterBox bags. They were also cold. We know some people were sleeping in their car. We gave them the very same thermal blankets that you handed out in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And so much of our work was about being ready. And I always say you can't do in disasters what you don't do every day. And ShelterBox is really a model of preparedness. And oftentimes that means pre-positioning aid items all across the world. Earlier this year, we began stockpiling aid items, things like tarps, solar lights, mosquito nets, water filters in the Caribbean, right? In Barbados.
Specifically in Barbados.
Mm-hmm. And we've drawn down upon those, right?
Right now, as we speak, they are mobilizing, and they've moved a lot of this equipment and supplies to Jamaica, and the Jamaicans were asking us the other day on a phone call that we were on, we really need your mosquito nets because there's a lot of standing water and the risk of insect-borne viruses after you get these terrible hurricanes that go roaring through. They also wanted to have tarps because they lost their roofs.
That's right. And so within 1 week, we had aid on the ground, and we have teams there now, including a response team member. So I want to do a late breaker and go straight to Jamaica and hear from our response team member, Gordon Christensen.
Hello,
I'm a ShelterBox response team member from the northwest of the United States. I'm here on behalf of ShelterBox in Jamaica, responding to Hurricane Melissa, which has been one of the largest hurricanes to hit landfall in many, many years. Thousands of families and individuals are displaced. Their homes are in ruins. We're working hard with our local Rotary partner to prepare and distribute shelter kits to as many families as possible. We're also working closely with other humanitarian organizations to integrate our efforts to do the very best possible for Jamaica. We would all encourage you to give what you can. We appreciate those of you who support ShelterBox regularly, and we thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Garn, and we'll continue to keep you posted on our response in Jamaica. So we have been seeing so many donations come in tonight, and as you know, we have a huge match gift from the board of directors. Pam Pine, Rick, thank you so much. Up to $85,000 now in a match. And I want to thank some of the gifts coming in. So Angie Costera, thank you so much. Yvonne Spencer, Ed Murphy, Sarah Schulman, Christy and Jeff Singer, thank you so much. Jeff Welsh, Carl Robinson, Melanie Morgan, thank you so much. You'll have an opportunity throughout this hour to continue to donate to get that match. So I would encourage you, hit the donate button, make a pledge, because your donation will be doubled tonight. I want to move now off of disasters, acute disasters, and move into the protracted conflict situation in an area of the world that's known as the forgotten crisis. That's the Sahel of Africa, to a country called Cameroon in the far north, where ShelterBox has working since 2018 as the only provider of tents to a refugee camp there. So many of them are women and children who've made their way fleeing Boko Haram violence in Nigeria. And recently, our ShelterBox board chair, Matt Gerber, had a chance to visit the Minnow camp, recently returned. And I want to take you now to the front lines of our vital work in Cameroon.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Matt Gerber, volunteer and board chair of ShelterBox USA. It is my pleasure to be here today to be able to share with you all the experience of individuals living here in Minnow refugee camp on the border of Cameroon and Nigeria. People living here have had to flee their homes in Nigeria due to indescribable violence from the insurgent group Boko Haram. I want to introduce you to Abu, a man who's faced extreme hardships, yet he's built a new home here in Minnow refugee camp, thanks to ShelterBox support.
Hamin heptayo yimɓe ɗo ɓe wari wuro ɗo min ɗo ɗani. Ha min ɗo ɗani ɗo so min fuɗi nanugo bruit, bundugaru be sikugo yimɓe. Ɗime waɗi Boko nasti. Boko nasti yimɓe fu ɗo dogga, ko mo fu ɗo dogga ɗaɓɓa lawol. Goɗɗo feere bo ɗo wali ha suudu man banni. Ha banni Allah yari yonki weeti. Ha nde weeti man bo ɓawa man fani min ɗo lara yimɓe man ɗo ɓe ɗo ɓedda warugo. Ɓe waran ɓe mbara yimɓe malla ɓe nanga yimɓe. To banni man on yimɓe ɗo nanga lawol wurta.
Fleeing for his life, Abu finally found safety as he settled in Minnow refugee camp. Abu was left with nothing, his future uncertain, until a surprise reunion changed his life forever.
Banni man de min hawri, min ɗo yiɗintiri ha mi ɓanga mo man, mi tawi ha ɗo man yata kanko bo no winde wala fami mako jur ha ɗo. Ha to non ɓe waɗi mariage man, ɓe timmini mariage, mi ɗon ha ɗo mi yerɓi dala, ɓe hoosimo, ɓe waddimo. Nde o warti ha ɗo man min ɗo jooɗi, banni man min heɓi ɓingel afo inde Hajja. To amma min waɗay ɓuray 6 mois mi heɓi reedu Hajja ɗo. Hidde ko wari o dañi Hajja, ɓawo Hajja man on kadi Hajja waɗi 3 ans hidde ko min wari min heɓi reedu Umul, hidde ko wari ɓe dañi Umul.
Thanks to ShelterBox and public concern, Abu now has a secure place to call home.
No woni ɗo, ay suudu tolɗo sa'i ɓe tappini am, ɓe maɓɓi, mi wari mi wali ha ton, hakkilo am de'iti. Ngam ko waɗi nda to ɗum tamponon bana bash ɗo, to hendu wari ni ko ɓoray sekan. amma tollo na to waɗi boɗɗum ɗo mi marata probléme jur miɗo de'i mi waɗa dammugal am gujjo bo fotai nastugo kuje am bo ɗon boɗɗum ha nder ton to mi wari mi nasti ko ndiyam ɗo toɓa bo ɓe ɓillatayam dalila ɗo man on mi ɓuri yardugo ɗum sama kiram ɗo wali miɗo wala ɗum weli.
While meeting with myself and the ShelterBox team, Abu explained how he can finally look ahead and build a new life.
mi woodi gettoje mi yettanɓe jur ngam ɓe walli am ha ɓe tappini am suudu mi heɓi miɗo wali miɗo de'iti yende to ɗo waɗa bo toɓata bana je yimɓe en feere mi yetti ɓe jur Allah walluɓe bana no ɓe walli amin bo amma to mi heɓan ɓe foti ɓe ɓedda wallugo am miɗo yiɗi wallinde jur ha wallinde je mi yiɗi ɗo go'o man ngal lumo man je mi waɗata ɗo sembe am famɗi mi yiɗi ɓe wallitami.
Seeing the impact of our aid is both humbling and powerful. The reality is that we're providing more than just shelter. We're providing dignity, we're providing hope, and we're providing security. Please join us in supporting this vital work. Your generosity today can provide shelter for a family who has lost everything. Again, thank you so much for creating the time and for making it a priority to spend this evening with us at ShelterBox USA.
While the work in Cameroon never makes the headlines, it is absolutely life-saving to the families that we're serving. Thank you, Matt, for bringing attention to this important work. I want to move now to some of the innovation and how ShelterBox is really helping build back better in disaster-prone countries like Bangladesh, where these communities are prone to continual displacement from flooding. So let's travel now to Bangladesh, where ShelterBox is bringing innovation and also really local and cultural appropriateness to the shelters that we're building.
Come. Our community is severely impacted by the flood, and so our first motto is to construct a flood resilient house. So considering this, we construct a 30-inch plane, and as you can see, the plane is well finished with net cement finishing and other things. The construction will be in high quality, and we also put columns up to 10 feet, so it gives the strength to the structure. And as you can see, also the upper structure, which is also have side walls with the corrugated sheets, which is CGI, and this is very common in this area. And also, as you can see, the design sheet, which is also very nice to see, and people will accept in this community and very fond of using this. And also in these houses, you can see the sitting places are nice, well decorated and well constructed and well furnished as well. So this place is constructed by the community members for their gossiping and their resting period and other times. Also the stair, as you can see, for the easy movement of the house. And if you can see in the house, the other page like bamboo chatai for the insulation and the temperature control inside, and the concrete pillars, which is very durable and strong for the house. Also wooden posts are available. So these structures are very strong and durable as per the engineering assessment and other things.
It's incredible. So many of you are digging deep tonight, and we want to say a big thank you. So we see Louis Turpin, $1,000. Thank you so much. Jim Carrier, $1,000. Laura Angelini, Donna Petroco, Prem Abram, thank you so much. Bill Peck, Ken Kaplan, long-term ShelterBox supporters, thank you so much. Singer family, thank you. This is all going to make a difference. We looked at how ShelterBox responds quickly and efficiently by being ready. We are a model of preparedness. This year has been a massive year in humanitarian support. We've drawn down a lot of our inventories, and now it is so important to help ShelterBox be ready. So thank you. Now, each year at ShelterBox, we honor an individual or an organization that exemplifies the mission of ShelterBox and demonstrates compassion in action. We are so excited to award the 2025 Global Humanitarian Service Award. And earlier this week, Matt Gerber, the board chair of ShelterBox, and I traveled to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm so excited to share the winner and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who is our 2025 Global Humanitarian Service Award winner.
As we celebrate tonight, it's impossible not to reflect on the incredible scale of impact that we've achieved because of the power of partnership. For 25 years, ShelterBox has worked to ensure that no family is left without shelter after disaster or conflict. This mission is made possible by extraordinary partnerships, and none more enduring or impactful than our collaboration with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For nearly a decade, the Church has been an essential partner in our humanitarian work, helping ShelterBox reach families across 23 countries and some of the world's most challenging places, including Syria, Burkina Faso, Yemen, Cameroon, Ukraine, Vanuatu, the Philippines, Grenada, Haiti, and many more. Because of the Church's unwavering generosity, their deep commitment to service, and their faith in action, hundreds of thousands of displaced families received emergency shelter and the building blocks to recovery and resilience. The Church's partnership has not only provided tents and vital household items, training, and tools, but together we've provided the foundation for hope, dignity, and self-recovery. This year, as ShelterBox marks our 25th anniversary, we're deeply honored to present the 2025 Global Humanitarian Service Award to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, in recognition for their commitment to alleviating human suffering, empowering communities, and living the true spirit of compassion and partnership. To our partners at the Church, thank you for your faith, your service, and your unwavering belief that every family deserves the safety and dignity of shelter. As we share these images from across the world, from war zones to disaster-affected communities, know that every image represents a family who found safety, faith, and hope because of this partnership. Congratulations, and thank you for walking alongside us on this journey to build a world where no family is without shelter.
Congratulations again to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for making the life-saving mission of ShelterBox possible. I want to thank a few more people. The donations keep rolling in. We are hopefully going to meet that match tonight of $85,000. John McGovern, thank you so much. $10,000. Michael Singer, Julie Day, David Willman, William Bassett, Lori Streifler, Bill Tobin, long-term ShelterBox ambassador, also retired from ShelterBox earlier this year. Thank you so much for your support. I now want to move to another part of the world that is facing the world's worst humanitarian crisis. There are now over 14 million people that are displaced in Sudan. And for millions of people, they are looking for safety and shelter. Many of them have made it into the neighboring country of Chad, where ShelterBox has been working to provide vital shelter and essential supplies to people who've left with nothing. I want to take us now to the front lines of our work in Chad.
الحياة الشخصية هنا قبل الجواز ده احنا كان الجنينة كويسين. مرة واحد أنا كان تاجرة، نجي يعني عذرة كان نشيل بضاعة بنمشي هناك في الجنينة نخلصه، وأبوهم ذاته كان بخيط المركوب العسلة وفوقه شجر وأي حاجة، عندنا يعني جميع الحاجات مرتاحين كان قاعدين. لكن ورا منه جو خلاص جنجبيل الحاجات ده كله شالوه. وبعد ذاك أنا ذاتي عندي بضاعة في السوق الجنينة حجموه، بضاعة ذاته شالوه، جينا ما في حاجة. أي حالة هنا ده صعب، لأنه أول كان إحنا في الجنينة قعدنا يعني الصباح الساعة 6 صباحا كم قدرنا قمينا، ولعنا نار ولعنا ما ولعنا تاني إلا 6 مساء. الضرب ده شغال شغال، إحنا قاعدين بتحت السراير ما نقدر نطلع ذاته برا. احنا ما مصدقين ذاته انه يجوا يبنوا لنا بيت، بيت ذاته زي بيت شنو كده يجوا يبنوا لنا. انا كان زماني يعني 3 مرات في اليوم 4 مرات نقوم بالليل، نقوم نصنف نطلع برا تاني شو لي بطاريه نمشي بهنا. حاسه انا مما خشيت البيت بعد مرات الاذان ده يعني الا كان العيال ماشيين مسيت يجوا مني ما قاعد نسمع، حسيت بامان شديد. لا احنا كان اول عاجزين، لكن ما شاء الله هسه جاوا بنوا لنا البيت ده. المهم هسه حاليا كده حسينا بامان، شعورنا نحس بفرحانه شديد.
Thank you so much for continuing to support the life-saving work of ShelterBox. I have to share a few more donations that just came in because they're so inspiring. So thank you so much. Don Cross, not only did you just make a donation, Paul, can you tell everyone what Don just did?
Don Cross drove a 1953 blue Chevy truck from Illinois to California down Route 66, had like his window handle break off and all these other crazy calamities, but he got through it and now he's still donating money. Thank you so much, Don.
Don was driving 2,500 miles for the 25th anniversary of ShelterBox, and he's just finished his journey. Thank you so much, Don. Thank you, Emily and Stephen Moskowitz, $10,000, amazing. Thank you. Mary Satiros, Jane Lanford, Alice Gorlick, Errol Ernies, $10,000. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, Sonia, Rhonda Kaplan, Diane Rigg. We are getting closer to the match. And I think we're going to near nearly $200,000 tonight. I think that we can do it. And it can do so much. So, Paul, I know we have the 8 items behind us. So let's talk about the simple but life-saving items that we provide.
Okay, right now in Jamaica, we know there's a risk after hurricanes, water pools up. There's a risk of mosquito-borne illness, dengue, fever, malaria, and whatnot. This simple mosquito net, which can protect several people, only costs around $8. And so $80 and 10 families, not 10 people, 10 families are protected. So it's just astounding how far your money can go. And by the way, I know you're not swinging by Jamaica tomorrow, but we are, and we'll be there.
Yeah, and we've heard so many times, especially from moms, how sick their children can be when they get dengue and they can't leave, right? And so having something as simple as a net to protect them from getting sick again, which is really dangerous with dengue.
Absolutely. They call it bone break fever, and that's absolutely no joke. Carrie, which one of your favorite 8 items?
Favorite 8 items. I love the work that we do. There's a few things that I love, particularly right now. I love the work that we do in the winter months. So in places like Syria, where children are often sleeping outdoors, continually displaced, there is a threat, right, of the elements and even children dying in past years. So we started doing winterized sets in the winter months. So everything from thermal baby onesies to high thermal blankets to children's boots and clothing to also shelter repair kits for the families there. So I love the winter warmth. I love the blankets. I love the thermal baby onesies, and you know I love to cook, so my other piece is there's nothing like restoring a sense of routine and normalcy than having a stainless steel cook set to prepare a hot meal, to also serve to a family. And probably my favorite memory of working in the field is actually seeing communities and women set up community kitchens to serve meals to their community. So probably these two items, but I love all of them, and these are so low cost. So to be able to provide a full stainless steel cook set, this is $50 to make a difference for a family. Okay, Paul, so
the
what's
onesie, by the way, which is adorable, I just want to let you know, it's like $7.82. So we calculate this. So just imagine how far your money goes when you provide some freezing child with a onesie. Should we talk to them about a single room shelter, which is a difference maker? Okay, walk over here. Ready? Pan over. This is live TV. This is action. This item right here is put together with one of our shelter kits, and it's only around $100. So imagine $1,000 all of a sudden changes the life of 10 families who are overseas, desperate for some sort of roof or shelter over their head. All they want is the chance to get a springboard into a better life, and that provides it.
And we provided thousands of these right now in Jamaica. We're also deploying thousands of these in the Philippines. We're in Cebu. We actually have a warehouse where we pre-position 8,000 households worth of shelter and basic things that we know they need, because they face typhoons routinely this time of year. And on top of it this year, a catastrophic earthquake in Cebu City as well. Okay, more donations. We hit the match. That's amazing. We hit the match. So we have raised over $170,000 tonight. More donations coming in from Mary Sloan, Jeff Lichty. Thank you so much. Nancy Fadigan, long-term, all of you long-term ambassadors with ShelterBox. Thank you. Holly Sawyer, thank you so much for your donations. You still have time. We still have a few minutes left. Every dollar is going to make a difference in the life of a family that's been displaced. And Paul, you know, we live in a community, Kevin Costner said it earlier, we live in a community that is endemic to disasters. We know that. We've all been evacuated. We know people who have lost their homes or even loved ones. But we also live in a community where there is a safety net. The community has come together. But so often in the places that ShelterBox is working, you saw those places tonight, places like Cameroon and the Minnow camp, we may be the only providers of shelter for those families across the world. And I think what always hits home to me is that when you look at displacement, that number of 123 million plus people, 75% of them are women and children, right? So we have, I believe, an opportunity to really make a difference for the lives of families, right?
Exactly, and I want to say one thing. Having covered a lot of disasters, I remember talking to someone with Samaritan's Purse. We were leaving, and we tailor our response. They were frustrated because they don't want to see that ubiquitous pile of T-shirts in some country. You know, they don't want your used clothes. They need these things, and we listen carefully to what people need, so we tailor the response. They need the mosquito nets in Jamaica. They need the thermal blankets in Ukraine. So you should know that every time you give us money, we're going to make sure that people get what they're asking for, and we're not going to dump stuff off.
It's true. So we were also asking a few minutes ago, Kevin, what's your favorite aid item, Kevin? And what did he pick out? The duct tape.
Yes.
So we also provide basic things like tools and basic things like duct tape. These things are very simple. They're very basic, but they're building blocks for people. Everything from the tents, the tarps, the water filters, the blankets, the sleeping mats. It makes a difference. Thank you so much, Kristen Murray, my sister Katie. Thank you so much, Anthony Mole, Kate Smeets, Hugh Murphy, Trish Hammond. Thank you, Trish. Trish is our Director of Finance, our Controller. Thank you so much, Larry Pallant, Don Jorgensen in Arizona. Thank you so much. Paul, I think we are well on our way to raising $200,000 tonight to support the life-saving work of ShelterBox. And I know we're not done yet. We have a few minutes left and a really special performance. So I want to say just a big thank you to all of the volunteers, to all of the response team members, the board members, the Rotarians on the call, the long-term supporters, as well as new people that came to learn about ShelterBox tonight for the very first time. We are so grateful for your participation and your involvement in the work of ShelterBox. It is the only way that this happens is through private charitable support. You have an opportunity tonight to make a difference, and maybe in the life of someone that you'll never meet, but whose life will be transformed because you dug deep to help us be ready, to help us stock tents, to help us be ready with tarps and solar lanterns and the cooking sets and the building blocks that people need when they need to recover after losing everything. Thank you so much. You will have an opportunity to continue to donate throughout the night. And I want to say thank you to a few more people. More donations coming in. Andrea Shretta and the team over at Luminate, thank you so much. Keaton, thank you. Holly and Dave Foss, thank you so much. It's amazing. We're going to get there tonight, Paul, and we're going to get there because of all of you. It is a collective effort. I also want to say a big thank you to the entire team, the staff at ShelterBox USA. They are in front of me on the sides. They put this together, and you guys dug deep to make this happen tonight. So thank you so, so much. And of course, I want to thank Kevin Costner. Kevin, who insisted on getting involved and helping us in our 25th anniversary to raise awareness and raise the vital support for our work. As I mentioned, Kevin and I really connected over a song that he and his band wrote called Find Your Way. And when I met Kevin and he learned about ShelterBox, he said, I feel like I wrote this song for ShelterBox, and I think you'll agree. Last week, Kevin had the opportunity to meet with his band. They were performing a concert, and they performed Find Your Way for all of you tonight. So thank you so much, Kevin, for sharing your talent. As I said earlier with Kevin, I believe everyone has something to deliver and really to make this world a better place, whether it's your time, whether it's your treasure, or whether it's your talent. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Paul. And as we go out tonight, a really special performance by our ShelterBox artist ambassador, Kevin Costner. Thank you so much for being here.
When the darkness overtakes you and the stars above forsake you, and there's no refuge for days and days, may you always find your way. When you hear that thunder rolling and the peace you held is stolen, and there's no hope left in the prayers you pray, may you always find your way. Keep your eyes on the horizon, look to the higher place. There will be shelter when you get there, however long it takes. Shackles of fear that bind you, 1,000 voices of doubt inside you, and every step is a test of faith. May you always find your way. Keep your eyes on the horizon, There will be shelter when you get there. However long it takes, may you always find your way. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Look to the higher place. There will be shelter when you get there. However long it takes, may you always find your way.
I get the chills every time I hear that song, and I do think it's an anthem for the work that we do at ShelterBox and the families that we serve. I have an update. Yes, it is 221,138. We're on the way to 250,000. Amazing. And I have to say, thank you to the Moskowitz family. We have more members of the family. David Moskowitz, Leah Moskowitz, thank you so much. Wendy Maitland, thank you so much. Out of New Jersey, Michelle Packer, Valerie Emanuel, Margaret Frock. Amazing. Thank you so much. And Paul, I know someone else texted you about their donation.
They didn't text me directly, but I saw that Ray Driver, he's way, way too humble to admit this, but he actually rescued people when we were both down at Hurricane Harvey. He pulled them out of their houses, out of the water. Ray made a donation. Just phenomenal people. I should note that all of you are keeping some very good company when you think about the level of people and the compassion that they have and how they contribute to us.
It's absolutely true. And you all are such an inspiration for these families. You are a lifeline, you are a light, and we want to thank you so much for participating in our annual virtual event, especially this year in honor of 25 years of ShelterBox. We are so grateful for you being here. We look forward to continuing to share the life-saving work of ShelterBox. We'll keep you posted on the important work that's underway right now, from disaster to conflict situations. But thank you so much for being here. I know more donations continue to come in. Thank you so much. I think we're going to get near 250 tonight. That's amazing. That is going to help do so much good work around the world. Thank you again for joining. We appreciate you so much, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.